does an advanced ergonomic keyboard look like? Actually, what is an ergonomic keyboard? Well, it's a keyboard designed to minimize muscle strain and complement a comfortable posture for people who spend a dangerous amount of time in front of a screen, typing and typing and typing and typing. You get the idea. Now, there are different types of ergonomic keyboards in the market, and here's a quick glimpse of what they look like. What I'm interested in is the split keyboard, and there's a reason for that. Today, Logitech is announcing the Ergo K860, and they've designed this to offer a natural typing experience while also delivering all the wireless features Logitech is known for. Now, this is my very first ergonomic keyboard, and I've spent quite a while testing this guy, and having used it extensively, I've got to admit, I might have to end up ditching my entire mechanical keyboard collection because this is the most comfortable keyboard I've tried yet. But allow me to explain right after this.
The new Cooler Master Master Mouse 710. Weird name, but damn, this thing is good. With an ultra lightweight body at only 53 grams for excellent flick control and aim correction, the ultra weave cable is awesome for wireless-like feel, the ambidextrous shape for me personally is super comfortable, and I like the shorter body, plus the glide is smooth thanks to white PTFE feet. Enjoy the domination with an excellent optical sensor, and despite the funky name, the Cooler Master MM710 is legit. Check it out below.
Alright, so let's get pricing out of the way. It's $130 US, which is actually a lot. In fact, it's $30 more than the MX keys, which is another one of my favorites. When you compare it to other split ergonomic keyboards, it's also way too expensive. Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to reviewing ergonomic keyboards. As I mentioned earlier, this is my very first ergonomic keyboard, and so naturally, I was concerned about a few things. And the first one's obvious, the learning curve. Get it? The curve. So how long does it take to comfortably type on a split layout without making 1,000 errors typing up a sentence? Also, is it really that comfortable? And is it something that's worth considering if you value your typing experience? And that's an important one. So let's begin with the learning curve. Believe it or not, I picked up my pace after spending just a few hours with this keyboard, but that might not be the same for you. I gave Mike the chance to get used to this keyboard, but he still hasn't quite adjusted to it yet. In fact, he just straight up told me that this isn't the keyboard for him, and that's okay. I don't constantly look down on my keyboard for letters when I'm typing up something. I've memorized most of the key positionings, so I could easily get them. Mike, on the other hand, is not a touch typist because sometimes he uses his left hand to hit Y and the right hand to hit B. The problem here for him is the split design because the keys are separated and he has to look down for guidance. I still make a few errors here and there with B and N because they're spaced wider compared to the other rows, but that goes to show that I don't have all the keys memorized in my head. Some people take typing courses, and so over time they become touch typists, meaning they don't have to look down for guidance because they've basically programmed the key positioning to their head, and it's basically muscle memory. They can easily adjust to another keyboard within a matter of just, a few minutes. And we've verified this with a typist, so if you fall into that category, you don't have to worry about getting used to this new layout coming from a standard keyboard. But I have to warn you, going back to a standard keyboard takes even longer to readjust if you're not a touch typist. I'm already starting to have issues typing on my notebook because I'm making more typos than before, and that freaks me out. Not to mention, we review a lot of hardware and keyboards fall into that category, so if I were to switch to another gaming mechanical keyboard for review, well, that's gonna take it's gonna be challenging to get used to the standard layout, which I know seems odd, but it is true. Now let's switch gears and talk about ergonomics, because this is where things get a lot better. If you pay close attention to the center portion of the frame, you'll notice that the keyboard is slightly curved and elevated. This was done to promote a natural posture when typing, while also reducing pronation for your wrists. You see, if you take a standard keyboard, for instance, it's a flat surface with a bunch of keys on it, and when you're preparing to type, you'd naturally rotate your wrists to adjust to that flat surface, and this could cause carpal tunnel syndrome and a whole other list of strain injuries for a lot of people. I've certainly experienced this in the past when I'm glued to a screen for days editing a video or typing up a script or structure like this. Thing is, I really haven't paid close attention to these issues until I started using the Ergo K860 because this keyboard sort of helped me reevaluate the way how I use peripherals to get work done, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, because this keyboard offers a supreme experience when typing without applying any stress to your muscles, and it's just perfect. Another thing I noticed is that my wrists were not deviating that much when compared to typing on a standard keyboard. It's basically sitting still with my fingers doing the work for the most part, and that to me was just fascinating, and this is again thanks to that split keyboard design. The other comfort factor is the wrist rest, and I cannot emphasize this enough. It makes a world of a difference when you're typing for hours, and Logitech has made a few tweaks here. You get the standard memory foam along with a higher density foam on top, followed by a stain-resistant, easy-to-clean fabric. It's just really comfortable, guys. You just have to take my word for it. Now, keep in mind that this wrist rest is not detachable, and I'm okay with that because you need to find a place to rest your thenar and hypothenar to rest comfortably to type on this keyboard in the first place. But the downside is that this is a pretty big keyboard. I mean, here's a shot compared to the MX keys, which is fairly compact. I'm a little worried about the wear and tear of this wrist rest because given that it's attached to the keyboard, we know that natural oil is a thing. Not really sure how long this is going to last, because if this gets completely worn out, then you might have to end up replacing the entire keyboard because, like I said, it's one unit. Now, right underneath the palm rest, Logitech has implemented palm lift, which comes in two-step increments, and this comes in handy when you're typing in a standing position, just so you get that optimal straight hand posture, especially with sit-stand desks being really popular these days. I have to really invest in one of those. In fact, if you have any suggestions on a great sit-stand desk, let me know in the comments down below. The keys themselves are great. It uses the same mechanism as the MX keys, so you get a solid, faster, and pretty tactile experience with a respectable amount of travel distance. I love the fact that they kept it low profile. But there is one big problem, and that is this keyboard does not have LED backlighting, which is really odd because if you look at the MX keys that cost $30 less, it comes with smart backlighting with ambient sensors. So this feature, the lack of this feature is certainly going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people out there. But Mike brought up a valid argument. If you're a touch typist, you wouldn't necessarily be interested in something like this because you wouldn't need to look down for guidance. But I guess that's a topic for another day. But really, they should have included LED backlighting in this keyboard in the first place, because at $130, not getting that feature, it's really a missed opportunity from Logitech, and I'm disappointed in that. Coming back to the basics, I like the design of the Ergo K860. The graphite color matches really well with the Master 3, and I like the contrast the palm rest offers. The keyboard layout is essentially a copy and paste from the MX keys. Literally every single key is the exact same, minus the split in the center. You still get a numpad, which is cool. This is a wireless keyboard, and it runs off 2 AAA batteries. Now, you might be thinking to yourselves, well, that's kind of dumb, but I'm actually okay with that because battery life supposedly is set to last for up to 2 years, which is great, and that makes sense because you don't have LED backlighting or any smart fancy ambient sensors. It's just a keyboard that can be paired via low energy Bluetooth or the unifying receiver, and it's both Windows and Mac compatible, so it's a very simple plug and play solution, and it's also one less charging cable to worry about. It still features easy switch, meaning you can switch between 3 different devices instantly. Also, it has Logitech Flow support, and if you recall watching my MX keys videos, you know how I love that feature. Just having to work with multiple systems, this ecosystem is pretty amazing. The last thing to go over is the driver software. It's very simple, just like the MX keys and the Master 3. As you can see, I've paired all 3 of them using one unifying receiver, and it works flawlessly. Jumping into customization, you can program the top function row to any command that you desire, and there is a load of options that Logitech has pre-built already. You can also switch the F1 to F12 keys to standard mode right over here, and you can check battery status at the bottom. So the question that needs to be answered here is, who is the Ergo K860 targeted towards? In fact, should you consider upgrading to it? If you're someone thinking about switching from a standard keyboard to an ergonomic keyboard, skip this, because at $130, it is just way too expensive for an upgrade. Because you can spend a lot less on Amazon and try out an ergonomic keyboard to see how you like it. The learning curve might take a while to get used to, and you might even not end up liking it at all. So that would be a little bit of a downside if you decide to pick this up. So start with something basic, see how you like the style, and then potentially maybe consider this 1 or 2 years down the line. Now, if you are using an existing ergonomic keyboard, and if you're thinking about upgrading to something with more features like Logitech Flow and wireless freedom, then the Ergo K860 could be a great option, though you need to consider a few things. One, it doesn't come with LED backlighting. I think that's my biggest drawback or my biggest problem with this keyboard. But for touch typists, it might not be a deal breaker. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the price. At $130, it is just way too expensive. So if you can find this for less than $100 on sale, then it is something that's worth considering. Now, do I see myself switching to this as my daily driver moving forward? Absolutely, because It's just really comfortable to type on, and I love the fact that you get a natural typing posture without stressing your wrists, and that to me is definitely a welcoming addition. But I am concerned about going back to a standard keyboard, because if I'm reviewing a mechanical gaming keyboard in the next few weeks or something, then man, it's going to be a tough call. So that's what it is, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the Ergo K860 from Logitech. Is it something that you're interested in? In fact, if you are using an ergonomic keyboard, let me know in the comments down below what you're using and what your experience is like. I'm Ebor with Hardware Canucks. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out some relevant content over here. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on a new video. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.